Hello everyone. So in this video, we will be studying about proxy pattern using Typescript. Let's have an overview of what all is there in this session to study about the proxy pattern. So in this video, we will be learning what is proxy pattern, the UML diagram for it, implementation using Typescript, and at last the interview questions. Alright, so let's proceed. What is proxy pattern? So proxy is an entity that wraps an object that you require delegating operations on. This entity acts as a permission guard and controls access to the proxied object, enhancing its functionality or preventing it from calling certain methods altogether. You can also use it as singleton when instantiating the object at the right time. Alright, so let me explain. This might sound similar to decorator pattern, but see what happens is that here we have only one proxy per object, and we mostly use this for controlling the access. Here it acts as an entity that wraps an object that you require delegating operations of. So there is an object in which you are delegating some operations like creating data, updating the data. So there will be a proxy that will wrap that object. So through that proxy you will be connecting to your object. It means that particular proxy will give you the permission. This entity acts as a permission guard and controls access to the proxied object. Means if the permission is denied, you will not be able to use it. If the permission is granted, you will be able to use it. So in this we can enhance the functionality. So yeah, it says that you can also use it as singleton. Means singleton pattern can be combined here. You can have one class and it can be instantiated only one time, and you can use it globally. So one analogy of this pattern is a company secretary accepting calls on behalf of the company director. They can regulate the flow of calls, may or may not forward them to the director based on who is calling and why. Let's say you called to a company, a corporate company, and you want to know about their services. So the secretary picked up the call. Now, let's say you are asking that, hey, what is your name? How are you doing in your life? How is your life going on? Will you go on a date? So they will not redirect you to the director. They will deny. But if you ask, I'm really interested in your services since my business aligns with the product that you are building. I'm really interested to know how it can improve our business flow and how it can benefit us. So in this way, the secretary will redirect your call to the company director. Hence, the director is the object on which the operations are being delegated. And the proxy is company secretary. Alright. Now you'll see the UML diagram for it. Here you can see the UML diagram. So what do we understand here? So at first, there is a store interface, and then there is a text store class. So we have an interface and an object that implement this interface with some methods. Now we only need to add this proxy. Here you can see this proxy contains this object as well, and it also has this implementation, so it will implement this method as well. And in this way, the proxy text store controls one instance of text store, and it may perform delegation or lazy instantiation if necessary. That's how it works. Alright, now we will see how can we implement this pattern using Typescript. Let's go to our IDE. Here we are. So I'll first create an interface store. It will have the save method. So let's say val string, and it won't return anything though. Alright. Now I have a class document store implements store. So let's implement, and here it is. And let's say, you can simply add a log statement that var saved. All right. Now we have another class proxy store implement store. This will implement. Remember, you have to press control plus dot or command plus dot if you are using Mac. Now the save we will implement later, because first we have to do our thing, like private doc store, and maybe you want to have your constructor as well. I'm just adding constructor to show you that you should not get confused, like do we need not use the constructor here? Yes, you can. So the save method, now in case if there is no doc store, so what I will do, this is known as the lazy initialization. What I am going to do, this dot store equals to new doc store. That's how you do it. All right. So this save method, and now dot store dot save. Wow, it is that simple. So guys, that's the only thing you need to do here. Here you can see this is the proxy, and here you are calling this method. Now you can add your permissions as well. So you can add things like user type, and it can be string. So if user type is not provided, then you can simply deny the permission. That's how it works. And here you can have your method, have your operations of permissions. That's how you can do. So for this you can create one more field like private user type string, and this dot user type equals to user type. So all right, what are we seeing here? So string undefined is not assignable to type string. Of course, it can be undefined as well. Now, if user type is not there, return. I have to add this dot user type. If there is no user type, then return. Nothing we need to do. All right, that's how you do it. Now we will see the modern implementation. Modern implementation. So here what we will do is, let's say we will create one object, Typescript object, const doc store equals to save, and we'll have val string, and yeah, val save, and const proxy dot store. Here what we will do is new proxy proxy.store. What is this proxy now? These are ES6 proxies. In the ECMAScript 6 or ES 2015, you got the proxies. Now these proxies you can use to implement your proxy pattern. Apply function, and function will take 3 parameters. Target that arcs. Target that arcs. So what is this apply? The original callable object which is being proxied. Here you can see this is the target, and these are the other parameters, that and arcs. We will not be using this that one, but we will be using the target. Target.save arcs 0. All right. Now we will use this. What we'll do, proxy.store.save, let's say untitled.docs. I'm gonna run this code. As you can see, this worked. That is how you can implement the proxy pattern in both the ways using Typescript. Now coming to our interview questions, you will see what all you can be asked in the proxy pattern. How does the proxy pattern differ from the decorator pattern? So the answer is, first, this is the proxy. This decides whether you will give permission to that object, the proxied object, or not. And the decorator, it only enhances or extends the behavior of an object. This is the only difference here. Now, what are some real world examples of this pattern? So real world examples are like, it can be used in API gateways, and it can be used in proxies in front end, like you want to add a virtual proxy to just delay the loading of heavy components, or you can have security proxies in your custom APIs like that. What are benefits of using this pattern? So the benefits are like, first is the controlled access. Proxies can manage access to an object, providing additional security or access control. Second is that lazy initialization. Resources are created only when needed, which can improve performance. So logging and monitoring. Proxies can log requests or action performed on the real object. And remote access. Proxies can represent objects in different address spaces. These are the benefits. Now, what are the potential drawbacks of this? So there is one, complexity. Introduces an additional layer which may increase the complexity of the system. And the overhead is like, it may add performance overhead due to extra processing layer. And it has tight coupling, means the proxy and the real object are often tightly coupled. Making changes in one can affect the other. So yeah, these are the interview questions for this, and that's it from this video, guys. We studied about the proxy pattern, what is it, what its uses, interview questions, criticisms, implementation, in the UML diagram as well. In the next video, we will be studying about the bridge pattern. Until then, bye.